Can you imagine a library columns high with books stored up to the rim? Scholars debating, arguing on rules and regulations that will impact human civilization for years and centuries to come. And scholars copying down notes that will be stored in the library for future generations to notice and read. This is the Library of Alexandria. And can I tell you that the Library of Alexandria didn't just burn down in one night. Rather, it eroded over several centuries because humans could not understand what it meant to re-embrace human literature, or in another sense, re-embracing the Library of Alexandria. Today, I'm here not to give you a full-on motivational speech on why the Library of Alexandria should be reconstructed, but rather how we can re-embrace human literature in our daily lives, how it affects us, and what can it benefit. Today, I will be using 3 points, 3 main arguments to prove to you why human literature is best for us and can benefit us. First things first, human literature teaches us empathy. It teaches us how to stand in another person's shoes and walk around in them. As spoken by a character named Atticus Finch from the To Kill a Mockingbird book by Harper Lee, you never really know what a person is feeling until you step in their shoes and walk around in them. This quote alone speaks high volumes on how literature helps us, normal people, who cannot understand other people's feelings directly, other people's perspectives directly. We suddenly understand it because the author writes it in such a way that it helps us imagine the situation, imagine the scenario, and imagine how the author or how the character felt. Thus, it teaches us empathy. It teaches us how to understand people. It teaches us how to understand people who are in other situations, other scenarios, and that, my dear audience, is really a big thing. My second point that I'd like to make to you is that we often do not know what's happening in the world around us. We do not know what events are taking in, let's say, France. We don't know what events, what revolutions are taking place, what political turmoils, what events, what celebrity news, or whatever is taking place around the world. We are not superhumans. But literature, through the author's narration, through the author's account, can teach us past and present. How? Because it takes us directly into the world of what the author is writing about. Take, for example, Demons by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Fyodor Dostoevsky molds his plot around a revolutionary group who is trying to suppress an oppressive government. Well, I can't say from experience, but reading that book, how did I relate to a group of revolutionaries when I myself am not a revolutionary? Because I understood the feeling of oppression. I understood the feeling of being subjugated under other people. And I understood the feeling of one's own ideas not being expressed thoroughly. This, in turn, is what is literature's superpower. It helps us relate. Relatability is humanity's greatest superpower. It is often used in politics, in media, in order to manipulate or to steer thousands of people to one's common agenda. And I'm not saying that literature is here to manipulate us. Literature is here to guide us through the author's agenda, what the author is trying to portray in the books, in the pages that he's writing. The characters aren't just there for entertainment. They're there to teach, and they're there for you to learn. My third point that I'd like to present to you today, the third and final point, is that literature enhances our cognitive mindset. How, you may ask? Well, I have 3 subtopics in order to justify that. Literature helps us improve our cognitive stamina. In a world where AI videos and short-term reels have deteriorated our attention spans from people sitting down for 20-minute lectures to people struggling to sit down for even a 5-minute session. Our world has constantly changed, but our attention spans have deteriorated. while the internet and other media has given us a wide opportunity for us to connect more, to focus more, and to have a longer attention span than ever before, the reality is the opposite. And that is truly concerning. But reading literature, reading stories that demand your focus, your time, your attention, really helps you improve your attention span. Personally, when I was reading the book Demons, I struggled to read because I was bombarded with these distractions like my phone, my laptop, my studies. Because I was not ready to sit down and enjoy a piece of literature. That is what the world we are living in. And I think by reading literature, after reading it for 6 times, I finally understood. And after I read the book, I had better time concentrating. I had better time sitting for 4-hour study sessions. And I had better time listening to my teachers in class. That is the advantage, the hidden power of literature. It helps you focus. It helps you increase your attention span. And it helps you motivate yourself in order to achieve your goal without distraction. My second subtopic is that literature helps us in our negotiation and communication. We always do not want to speak in front of a whole crowd. We are shy. But literature gives us our own space to practice communication through the author's vocabulary. We learn new words, we learn new sayings, we learn new phrases. And that in turn helps our communication. Because what is literature more than a treasure trove of vocabulary and communication? Literature also helps us in our negotiation because the author, when he writes a book, he is giving his idea to us, the readers. Because the readers are constantly thinking about the idea, it constructs a sort of natural debate in our mind, where our ideas and the author's ideas clash, and the plot is subsided. That is why humans have so many different perspectives, because we are always in a debate with each other's beliefs. And literature can provide us with negotiation skills like never before. I'll give you my own example. Before I even picked up a book, I could not even hold against my argument in front of someone else just because their vocabulary was extremely strong. Later, while reading literature, I realized and I played the debate in my mind. I understood and I memorized how the author's points and my points argued and how the debate took on. This in turn helped me understand my debaters, my fellow opponents' skills, my fellow opponents' points, and that helped me negotiate a clear and common ground between opponents. That in turn is what negotiation is for, finding common ground. And I believe that literature provides that. My third subtopic is that literature increases your cognitive power. Not just vocabulary, but your thinking patterns also differ after you've read a book for so long. After reading a book, you form thoughts on what the plot can be, what the characters were thinking, and what feelings were they thinking, or what experience, what would you do in the event in place of the character. That forms thinking patterns, and that is truly healthy for our brain, because thinking is what improves the brain. That is why we're at a crossroads. We can either choose to leave books behind, go towards algorithms, and engage in short-term content just for short-term convenience. And also, the other option. We can pick up a book. We can read it. It's okay if you do not understand it. Reread it. And don't try to understand it all in one go. Try to understand it how it can benefit you. Because in the end, it's not you benefiting literature, it's literature benefiting you. Thank you.